Hope you guys had a wonderful Monday evening. I know some of you guys is on your way home. Some of you guys is still at work. Some of you guys on the way to work. Whatever it may be, I want to give a shout out to you guys for your support. Definitely want to give a shout out to the creators. Shout out to the ancestors. Shout out to all the El Kebulan all across the world. Shout out to you guys. We're going to have a conversation. I wanted to address my apologies. And I wanted to make things very, 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 very clear. Now, my apologies has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than what my apology was. Now, I came on YouTube, but I believe it was Thursday, if not Friday, when I came on, and then I just expressed my, my apologies, or reach out and ask for forgiveness for the way that I handle my departure from the Euro-Christian ideology. And I wanted to apologize to those that helped me get to the level that I'm at now. I wanted to give, my apologies, wanted to say thank you, appreciate everything that you guys have done, but the way that I handled it could have been handled a lot different. Could have been handled way more professional. Should have handled it to the point where I shouldn't discredit the very tools that these brothers and sisters is using to keep other people in a positive, righteous state of mind. Right? Now, I never apologize. My apology has nothing to do with what I believe in. My apologies has nothing to do with what I believe in. I will forever stand on what I stand on. Wherever door I go into, that's the door that we going into. Wherever party I'm invited to, that's the party we are in, and we're going to be in this party until we can't party no more, or until there's another party, a better party. I've never apologized. I never apologize for things that I do, because I know that things happen in life. You understand? That's just how life goes. Things happen. You understand? You live and you learn. That's just how the game goes. That is life. I don't apologize for things that I do, for choices and decisions that I make. I stand on it. I live by it. I die on it. That's how life goes. That's how I go. Now, individuals took it upon themselves to see me and took it as an opportunity to, I guess, let out what they was feeling. And which is cool. I'm not mad. You're supposed to be able to express yourself and speak how you feel. You understand? I'm not mad. Absolutely. Absolutely not. I'm not mad about that at all. My frustration that comes with individuals is believing that I'm doing what I'm doing for some level, I guess, celebrity recognition. Celebrity recognition. Right? Now I don't wanna dive too much into it, because I told my whiz that I wasn't gonna, entertain it. I wasn't gonna give this nonsense, I like to call it, any life. But sometimes you have to expound on the things. You have to expound on the things that people perceive about you without even having the courage to ask that question directly, right? Now, anybody that knows me, anybody that's been a part of this movement, anybody that tuned in into the channel, anybody that did anything, you guys know how I am. You guys know that I speak with passion. I speak with conviction. I speak with determination. I speak with no filter. I don't come on YouTube seeking for forgiveness, seeking for likeness, seeking for anything. Everything that I do is to deliver you guys content, give you guys some good content, something to make you smile, something to make you think, something to make you question the very things given unto us by the oppressor. That's what I do on this channel. Right? I don't look for validation from nobody. Now, the things that I'm teaching is going to go against the Euro-Christian ideology. African spirituality has absolutely nothing to do with monotheism. I repeat, African spirituality, which is what we was doing before religion got into our front door. What we was doing before the Abrahamic religion got into our front door. We did not know nothing about anything outside of polytheistic understanding. We never knew nothing about monotheistic. We never knew about that, nor did we care about it. Now I know a lot of you Johnny come latelys. I know a lot of you guys who's in this truth tend to stay in your lane. That's not what we do here. That's not what we do as El Kebulan individuals that's been kidnapped, individuals that's been hijacked, that's been stolen, renamed, repackaged, sealed. That's not what we do here. What we do here, we go seeking for answers. And sometimes the answers that we be seeking, damn, my light died out. Ain't this some nonsense, bro? Oh my jeez, this joint got me tight. Now, some answers that we be seeking is going to offend certain people because we're going to certain doors that requires, a little shaker-upper. But the shaker-upper is what's needed when you're trying to find out who the heck you are. Now, what I've been trying to tell you guys for how many months now, that our history is not the end all be all. It's not coming directly and solely from the Biblos. You cannot tell man that the Biblos is the only outlook on life. That the black man should not have to look into any other resources, any other dialect, any other knowledge and information outside of what comes in the Biblos. That's insane. That's insane. And as a man of color, as a man that don't know nothing outside of being enslaved, I don't think we have the luxury to decide what we accept and what we do not accept. I don't think we got the luxury for that. And here on this podcast, this movement, this awakening is not going to solely be based on the Biblos. I read the Biblos. I dissected it from front to back. I taught this from front to back. I taught this before I was teaching the Bible, before I knew anything about El Kebulan. Before I even thought that I was before I even knew I was a so-called African, I was running around thinking I was a Hebrew. Now, I've never been to a Catholic school and stuff like that. My mother couldn't afford to put me in private school, so I had to go outside and learn from you know what. I had to learn from outside. I didn't have the luxury of going to school and learning from Jesus from young. You know what made me come to seek the Lord? Gang activity. You know what made me come seek the Lord? Gang activity. You know what made me go to church and get on my knees and ask for some questioning? Gang activity. Okay? Family dying. Homies getting killed. Homies getting locked. That's what made me seek the Lord. Outside of that, I was outside like everybody else. I don't do this religious ideology nonsense. Okay? I'm a man that stands on facts. I wasn't brought up in a church to have belief. When I asked my mom a question, she couldn't give me the answers, I went looking. When I started asking other people and they couldn't give me the answers, I went elsewhere. That's what somebody with logical common sense do. If I ask you a question, if I say 1 + 1 and I know that it's 2 and you tell me that it's 3 and it's 4 and it's 5 and it's every number outside of that number 2, you're no longer qualified to teach me. And if you are anybody, if you are an individual who comes on these platforms and claiming that we're something and you don't have the actual proof to back it up, you're unqualified to teach me. I don't have no issues with the Biblos. I don't, at this point, like me personally, I don't care because I know the truth about it. Me personally, but there's individuals that do. Not only are there individuals that do, but at the same token, you are teaching individuals. Now, the teaching is fine to me. The teaching is fine to me. But the teaching has to stand on a foundation. These teachings are not standing on foundation. Now, if you tell me something is of ours and is of ours, written by us, by our people, you must be able to prove that. We are living in the age of information. You must be able to prove that. But since you're unable to prove that, and yet you're teaching in the same manner of the oppressor, I then got to question which side are you really on. And like I said, I'm not here to bash anybody who's doing that because we're not going to act like the Biblos is not keeping brothers and sisters together. It's not keeping marriages together. It's not teaching children to be civil. I'm not going to act like it's not doing that. But we're not going to act like we're not going to act like this story is about us. That is what I don't agree with. That is what I said I'm not teaching. I'm not teaching anything to my people. Anybody that tunes into this channel, I'm not teaching you anything that's going to lead you into another stage of belief. Just like you was in a stage of belief when you was fed Santa Claus. And then when you became older, you realized that there was no such thing as Santa Claus, right? This is the same ideology that they're trying to do when it comes to religion. Now, I'm not here to knock people's beliefs, but don't tell me that this is the way, this is the truth, when you have not provided any truth. All I want is the truth. All I want is the truth. Give me the truth so the truth can set us free. All we want is the truth. Now, because I'm no longer teaching beliefs, because I'm no longer teaching doctrine of man, and I'm telling my El Kebulan kidnaps, every single El Kebulan kidnap on the face of this earth, I'm telling you to go find your history. That your history cannot and will never only solely be from a book given unto us by the enemy. And I should not have to break down the puzzles, look through, combobulate it, look through this door, look through that door to find out what is what for me. I should not have to do that. People in Africa are not doing that. People in Africa are still doing their practices that they was doing 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. There's people in Africa, in El Kebulan, that don't know nothing about Allah, that don't know nothing about Jesus. Now, all I'm saying is, we as El Kebulan people, we spent years, and I repeat, years, learning Julius Caesar's history. And not one time did we question it. Now here we are in the age of information, and we're not taking that same energy to go find our history. Because you can say whatever you want. If somebody comes to you right now and says that this Bible is about you, and that they stole it from you, and that it was plagiarized from you, and then you say, well, are you able to provide the original version? And they're unable to, then what does that make you? What does that make you? By default, you are disqualified. Right or wrong? By default, you are disqualified. I don't want to be nobody's disqualification. All I want you guys to do is go find your African spirituality. Because my very own told me that stuff like voodoo was bad, that it was evil. But my very own biological mother said, who told you that it was bad? Who told you that it was evil? Who's telling you these things? I told my mother, I said, Moms, I said, yo, Mom, I know somebody that's trying to tell us that it's evil, that we should not participate, we should not practice, we should not do this, we should not do that. My mother said, why? Why did they tell you that? Do they know anybody personally? Like how you know people personally? I said, no. She said, did they ever sit down and at least question? Did they ever do their studies from an African, Black, Haitian, whatever perspective, and not try to measure it from the eyes of a European? I said, no. I said, so she said then they're not qualified. And that's when I decided to do my at that time a class, and I titled it, Who Told You That Voodoo Was Evil? And now I asked every Black person that same question. Who told you that it was evil? How can you prove to me that it's evil? For one, you never participated in it, right? You can know if drugs is bad based on the outcome of it, right? Or if you was a user, right? If you took crack, you would be able to tell me crack is bad. But somebody from the outside that never took crack can only base the damage of crack and the bad of taking crack based on what they see from outside. Now I want you to say that same thing when it comes to our spirituality. You cannot show me outside of what they show you on the internet. You cannot show me the bad in voodoo. So who told you that it was bad? Who's telling you that it's bad? Now, the same people that's telling you that it's bad, the same people that's painting this picture of something black being bad, are the same people that gave you Jesus and told you that it was good. Now, I'm not here to disrespect, but we're not going to act like Jesus, the story of Jesus, we're not going to act like that was not forced upon Black people. We're not going to act like that's not something that was told to man to accept or receive severe punishment, even death, even stories of hellfire. Why nobody don't talk about that? Why nobody brings stuff like that up? Why stuff like that is not coming to the table? Why when everything that is black, why when things that is black is always predicted or seen as something wicked and evil, but you guys participate in everything. You guys, everything is a ritual in America. You guys watch football. You guys watch basketball. You guys participate in the Olympics. You guys do everything. You guys may not celebrate 4th of July, but you're gonna take the day off. You're gonna take the time to rest. You're gonna smell the barbecues and stuff and be like, oh, that smells so good. There's no running from it. But yet you gotta deal with it, right? But you know that that's not wrong. As far as the 4th of July celebration, you know it's not wrong because subconsciously you're not there to do wrong. Your intentions is not to do wrong. So subconsciously you're not seeing it as wrong. But if you ask somebody religious, they'll tell you that it's evil and wicked. And you should not be doing it. And if you do it, there's a high chance that you may die. This is what you're told. This is what you're told. This is what you're told. Come on, my nigga, yeah. You understand? Now, I'm not here to knock anybody. All I'm saying is, before we jump to conclusions and say that this is evil and this is wicked and this is that, how do you know if you ain't never been outside? How do you know if you ain't never touched it? How you won't know if the food ain't good unless you taste it. You won't know. How do you know? And all I'm saying is we as individuals that has absolutely no identity. You cannot tell me that a man that got his identity stolen is not going to be given his identity back by the ones that change your identity. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I just want you guys to have an open eye. You cannot, we're not gonna solely base our genealogy, our existence solely from a book we know that was plagiarized. We know that was rewritten. We know these things. So we know all of that. How can we stand here and say that this is the word of God and this is the only thing that we need to follow? How you want me to tell my people that? How can I tell my daughter that? How can I tell my son that? How? And then we're saying that we're trying to put an end to these curses. The only way the curses is going to come to an end is when we start embracing ourselves from the eyes of ourselves. I don't care what anybody telling me. All religion has every eye perspective but a black man's, because a black man never created it. When you think of Islam, you don't think of a black man. When you think of Christianity, you don't think of a black man. When you think of Judaism, you don't think of a black man. You don't think of black people. When you think of religion, you don't think of black people. When you see dancing and you see the rituals and you see people doing the you instantly feel that. It's an instant absorption. You instantly get absorbed into that. Instantly. Why is that? Why is that? Why when you hum, you just do you instantly get connected? Why when you when you try to connect to the God that they gave you, it's a force, it's a battle, and they tell you that it's demons. They tell you that it's demons. That's the reason why. They tell you that it's demons. That's what they tell you. They say it's demons the reason why you're not connected to God, or the reason why the word of God is not with you, and this and that and la la la. Could it possibly be that it's your ancestors that's telling you, no, we're not gonna allow you to be sucked in and to be destroyed like how we was destroyed? Could it possibly be? Did any one of you guys ever ask that question? You know why you don't ask that question? Because you never measure yourself based on from the eyes of an African. You don't measure yourself based on the origin of your existence. You measure yourself based on the perspective and the perception of European ideology. That's what you base yourself on. And this is why we're suffering. And me being me, this is all I'm saying. We're no longer doing that. We're no longer minimizing African greatness, because minimizing African greatness is minimizing who you are. Minimizing African culture is minimizing who you are. Minimizing African spirituality is minimizing who you are. Minimizing African history minimize who you are. And who are you, slave man, to tell another slave man what should he or she participate in? You're not in no position for that. You can't tell a slave how to be a better slave. We're not in a position. Tell me who you are outside of the Caribbean island or the American island you come from. Tell me who you are. Tell me how far you can trace your genealogy. How far? And if you're unable to, then how dare you tell me, or how dare you say that anything that's African is evil? Because God, the God of the book that was given unto you by the oppressor, told you it was evil. You know who else said that? The mercenaries, who was still, that was holding the same book that you're holding in your hand. They was holding that same book and saying the same thing, that converted billions of El Kebulans, murdered millions of El Kebulan. And here I am, a warrior in the front lines, going through it all, just to make sure that you guys get information and wisdom to stay in your ground and when things hit the fan. And I'm going to talk about something tonight, because a lot of you guys don't know where we're heading. A lot of you guys don't know where we're heading. This weirdo out here, man. A lot of you guys don't know where we're heading as far as a lot of you guys don't know where we're heading as far as the times that we're in. And I'm going to talk about it more tonight when I get home. Probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm going to talk about it more. But this behavior that we have of discrediting black people has to stop. My apologies is to the El Kebulan, to every single one of you guys. I'm very sorry. My departure and how I just switched up just like that didn't give you guys time to grasp and go through the transition. And a lot of you guys mentally, and I'm not saying all, but a lot of you guys mentally are just not at my speed, because I'm really out here trying to uncover this information, because things does not add up. So I need to put the pieces where they need to be so it can add up. Like I said, 1 + 1 must equal 2. If it doesn't equal 2, then somebody's lying to you. And guess what? Everybody's been lying to us. And if we know that we've been lied to, how do you then take the word from the liar? How do you say the word of the liar is true? But whatever El Kebulan people saying, that's a lie. Who told you that? Who's teaching you this? Who's teaching you this? Who's teaching you to have such mentality? Am I wrong for not putting Africa secondary? Am I wrong for not having Africa secondary? Am I wrong because I want to put El Kebulan number 1? Am I wrong because I want to hear it from the horse's mouth? Am I wrong that when I ask people, even from the land, to explain this, and you guys know, you guys see the interviews that I've done, and you heard, and you see the questions, and you seen the subtle response. You know what I'm saying? I didn't elaborate on it, but trust me, I took mental notes. I said, see, this is what I'm saying, but I'm gonna trust the word of the creators. That's what I said. I said I'm gonna trust the word of the creators. I'm gonna trust it. I'm still gonna teach these biblos because I was into the Euro-Christian ideology. Oh, there should be a falling away first, and this and that. Don't be the one. Don't be the one. In the end days, many shall come, few are chosen. All of that. You know what I'm saying? I had all of that in my forefront. Like, nah, I ain't even gonna do that. I'm just gonna sit back. I'm just gonna teach. I'm just gonna let the creators do what they do, and hopefully I get to that place where I need to be. That's how I left it. I left it as that, right? But at the same time, I'm literally watching and I'm paying attention. I'm watching the repetitive teachings. I'm watching the contradictions. And I know a lot of you guys had contradictions, had a lot of questions, and none of these questions was being answered. And I also believe that not only was the questions not being answered, but the questions that was allowed to be asked was GED questions. It was not hard spiritual questions. It wasn't. Just how I see it. And the more I started digging, the more I started reading African books. I said, you know what? Let me stop reading from Zuckerberg and the Steins and the Ivy Steins. Let me stop reading them and start reading other books. Let me stop just reading from the eyes and the perspective of a European, and let me go speak to people that's from Africa. Let me see it from the lens of those that suffered from colonization, not slavery. There's a big difference. Not slavery, but colonization. Let me see from their perspective. Let me see how they adapt. Let me see how they adjusted. Let me see how they handle it. And every cry is the same. Every pain is the same. The truth, listen, one thing for certain, two things for sure, is somebody that's going through pain will always tell the truth because they want people to feel their pain. And that's what was going on. And when I spoke to individuals, listen carefully, guys. When I spoke to individuals, I asked individuals the most simplest question. Can I trace the kings in the Bible? Can I trace them back to Africa? Don't tell me the location. Forget the location. We're talking about the kings, the primary figures in the Bible. Can I trace them back into the Bible? What was their names? And I asked all these questions. And I got the same answer. You guys want to know what that answer was? You guys want to know what that answer was? You want to know what that answer was? That answer was, we're still looking. In due time. So, if you're still looking, damn, son, my light went out. Facts, bro. Hold on, guys. This y'all got me tight. All right. What's up, my guy? Happy New Year, my niggas. Everything good? Yeah. Happy to see you, bro. Tell Auntie I said what up, cause she be thinking I don't be pulling up, bro. Yeah, let her know I be here, bro. Cause I know you see me. My bad, guys. You know what I'm saying? A light went out. The BS. But that's like I said, that's all I'm saying. I'm not, hold on, let me call my client. I'm not here to bash anybody. I just want you to provide the information. And I just want my people to just start putting more investment into African, into African customs, into African traditions, into African ways. Why not? Why can't we do that? What's up, my guy? Where you at? I'm downstairs. Now I'm right in front. Nah, say no more. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me make sure my man. Hold on, let me make sure my man. Oh no, he ain't send it. Black man. My wife said I look good. Thank you, babes. Appreciate that. But where was I? Oh, why can't we embrace African culture? Why do we justify what is righteous, what is not righteous from the writings of Europeans? Why can't we justify what's righteous and what's right, what's wrong from the eyes of African people, El Kebulan people? Why must my understanding of who I am must come from the book that was given unto me by them? And if this book is about me and it's about us, somebody find me the original version. And if the original version is not yet present, then we need to hold off on telling people that this story is about us until we get the information. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's children that's growing up right now that's stepping away from this ideology. There's children growing up right now that don't want no parts of religion. There's mothers and fathers right now raising their children with their children having no parts of religion. There's mothers and fathers right now that's teaching their children African customs, giving their children African names, teaching them about Kemet, teaching them, and I'm talking about a high and a massive amount, not no mediocre, a small percentage. Nah, it's a lot of people. I see a lot of black people now having stages in their house. I'm seeing a lot of black people now. Meditating more. I'm seeing a lot of black people now fasting more. I'm seeing a lot of black people now eating clean, doing a lot of things in complete righteousness without even knowing that they're doing righteousness, without even having to read the Bible. These people are doing that. So there's a phenomenon that's taking place on this world. And that's all I want my people to do. I want my brothers and sisters to embrace that. I want my brothers and sisters to look into that. Don't let the writings of Europeans tell you that black magic or anything that's black is deemed as evil. You can't allow the ones that did the most evil in the world, and to justify the evil in this world, they told you that Jesus told me to do it. God said you broke the commandments, etc., etc. Look, it's in the book. Read this book, study this book, focus on this book, and when the time comes, this book is what's gonna help you get out of the things that you did wrong. Come on, man. Stop. Stop. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. Embrace your African culture. My apologies. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. My apologies is because genuinely I care about people. I don't do this for the money. I don't do this for the hype. I genuinely care. I really want my people to leave this earth knowing who they are. Ask my aunt. I can call my aunt right now from my father's side, and you can know, and she will tell you how I just be literally all in her mind, trying to, find out who the heck my father's side of the family was. My pop died when I was 8. My grandfather died before I was even born. My grandfather died when my father was 12. I was 8 when my father died. So you do the math. So of course I'm doing the necessary things to find out who the heck I am. I'm speaking to Haitian people who doing more than when somebody comes. Give me a minute. Than individuals. Than individuals that, you know, knew more about themselves outside of Jesus, outside of the Bible. There's a lot of freedom fighters, a lot of spiritual people that will tell you, no, don't bring this Bible talk to this table. And I say, why? And then when you sit down and they tell you how they really feel and what's really going on and how these things was used, then you're gonna understand and where I come from. I would never abandon my people. I would never abandon the creators. I would never stop teaching the ways of the creators. But the ways of the creators is not coming from the Biblos. And if it is, and if they providing some level of information, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough. It's not enough. And again, this is no disrespect to, you know, what people is going to believe, because people is going to believe what they're going to believe. But I gotta tell you the truth. You understand? I gotta tell you the truth. I gotta stand on business. I gotta stand on facts. This has nothing to do with how I feel. Because if I tell you how I really feel, there will be no more ROD podcasts. But let's just call it what it is. We on a mission to find out who we are. That's it. And I would never abandon my people. Like I spoke to my homegirl, I ain't gonna say, you know what I'm saying, her name, but she know what time it is. She said she had to choose between me and the creator. I said, the creator? I said, I don't recall me stepping away from the creator. Oh, you're being programmed to believe that monotheism came from us. That's where the discrepancy is. You want us to go against natural order, right? Man and woman, balance. You want me to override that and stand on male presence, where that came from the Roman Catholic Church. The word father comes from the Roman Catholic Church. That's why you don't see the word father in the Old Testament. That comes from the Roman Catholic Church. There's whole supreme beings and deities. That's Lucifer telling you that he was going to do that. But I never, not one time, stepped away from the creators. You never heard me say, man, F that. I'm not teaching this. I ain't talking about the creators no more. You never heard me say that. All I've been trying to tell you is the creators is not associated from a story rewritten from the lens of Europeans. My God, my creator is not the creator or the God of Europeans. And whatever the Europeans believe in, I wouldn't expect black people to accept that as their God, unless you are somebody that's suffering from a syndrome. We ain't suffering from syndromes no more. We not holding on to excuses. We're not doing none of that. We standing 10 toes down. We're gonna be about our business. We're gonna stand on what we're standing on. We're not doing excuses. Yes, we was captured. Yes, they violated. Yes, they did this. Yes, they did that. But at the same time, while they did all that, we also got $2.7 trillion in spending power. While they did all of that, we got all of this. And when we fall, the reason why we fall is because of us. When we suffer because of us. It's not because of anybody else. It's because of us. And I'm going to leave it as that. It's your brother, man, from the motherland. I will be on later on today at 9 p.m. Later on tonight, 9 p.m. Stay tuned. I'm going to holler.